All right. I think we're on.
All right, here we go. All right, everyone. Welcome to Guys Time with the Brides. This is a special episode today. I don't usually do episodes on Saturdays, and this is actually the first time I have a special guest on Guys Time with the Brides. None other than my cousin, John Bryce. John Bryce, brother, what's up, man? How's it going?
Woo! What up, man? Good to
Yeah,
see
there you
you.
go, brother. I was to say, I love it, dude. I mean, first, like I said, first special guest ever. I've been doing this for almost close to 4 years now, and you're the first one, man. So that's something special, something you'll always remember.
Hell yeah,
Oh
man.
man,
I'm excited. I'm excited to be doing the first podcast with you. Um, and we got a hell of a show for you guys today. So stay tuned. We're going to talk on some great topics. Um, Zach, for the people that don't know you on my platform, why don't you let them know kind of just a little bit about who you are, what you do, and your podcast and what you guys talk on.
oh yeah, absolutely, man. So yeah, my name's Zach Bryce. Obviously, on my platform, I'm called the Bryce main guy Zach. That's I don't know. That's kind of like my alter ego, I guess, if you want to call it. I've been doing this podcast, for 4 years now, and then obviously John, my cousin, he knows me. He knows I love my sports, especially football, and he's a big football fanatic. He played football in college and in high school, and he was a beast. So you got that going on. But yeah, I'm a big sports guy. Love my sports. Football's my favorite. I like mixed martial arts and I like hockey. That's like my top three sports. But all things sports, love betting on sports. Any championship game, Super Bowl, World Series, big UFC title fight, whatever the case may be, Stanley Cup final, you name it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna, place bets on it, and yeah, it's just like I said, I love my sports, and for this podcast, we talk a lot about sports. I mean, obviously. Those for who know, guys, time of the prize. I mainly talk about football, so you can say it's really a football podcast but I do talk about a little bit of hockey and mixed martial arts, and I'm actually doing a little bit of boxing now, so you'll probably be hearing some boxing stories coming up in the next few episodes in the next few months. So yeah, like I said, I started this podcast 4 years ago because I love talking about sports. I have a deep passion for all things sports, and I just decided to start with my good friend Chris. And yeah, I've been rolling ever since. 2024 started in 2020, and it was kind of crazy because that was when COVID happened. So it's like can't go to work, and the world shut down. What to do? It was kind of a perfect time, and I hate to really say that because we were in a pandemic, but it was really a good time to start a podcast. So I started in April of 2020, and yeah, I've been rolling it ever since. And as you can see, I got a T-shirt, got the T-shirt going. So got the YouTube channel started up. I started that last year, January 2023. Finally expanded my, you know, the social media platforms. I guess if you want to mention that, if you want to say that, and yeah, just trying to get my name out there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Guys, time of the prize. Always having a good time. So yeah, John, how about you, but man? I seen some YouTube shorts. What you been up to? I see your YouTube channel. What's going on with you, my friend?
Yeah, so just to catch you guys up a little bit, I last 2 weeks, I've been um, I've been sick. Uh, the last 2 weeks, just been coming off of that. It seems like that's been going around like all over the country. Um, kind of like congestion. So I've been off the content for a while. I was pumping out a bunch of content, as you guys know, but I just slowed down with the holidays. Been focusing really hard here on getting some things started up for the real estate, looking to get into the self-storage investing, that space. So been doing a lot of research, a ton of research. Got a logo put together. I'm excited to show you guys on Ace Guard storage. And then yeah, just been kind of living life, trying to figure stuff out here, and I'm about to get calling on self-storage facilities probably this next week. And yeah, so really it's been a lot more business focused rather than pushing out content and whatnot as of late. But I'm very excited, starting out with this podcast today. I'm super excited to be on here with Zach and finally get back into the content, putting out YouTube shorts and whatnot. So first things first, Zach, let's get a little bit into our Detroit Lions, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely gotta talk about those guys,
we
right?
have to talk about the Lions, man.
Oh,
So
man.
what a crazy season. Freaking epic, man.
Agreed.
One that we will never forget. One as a Detroit fan base, we could never ever forget. I mean, the first playoff win in 31 years, correct?
Yeah, 30. Yeah, I think it was 32 years, but yeah,
32
since the 91 season.
91, yep. I know. Yep, and that's the
So
same
we
year
weren't
that
alive.
Barry took. I know we weren't even
Yeah,
born
we weren't
yet.
even alive then, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
So, and that's the same year. Crazy enough, I watched that Bye Bye Barry on Amazon Prime. You watch that?
I did watch that a few months ago, right around Thanksgiving. I think that's when it came out. I watched it. Yeah, that was a very good one.
It was good. And but anyway, I just watched it a few weeks ago, I think. But when I was sick here, but I didn't know that it was 91 was the last time they got a playoff win, and it was actually also the last time that they had ever been to, not ever, but yeah, it's the last time. Not the last. Am I saying that wrong? The last time they'd been to an NFC championship in was that, like, it was that year.
Yeah, it was that season, the 91
So they
season,
had multiple
yes,
playoff wins, obviously, to get there, but then they also, that was the last time they got to the playoff or to the NFC championship. And then, they ended up losing 41-10 to the Redskins. And
the Washington Redskins. When they were known as the Redskins.
I mean, it's just
now.
incredible.
It crazy. Like I said, it's definitely, it's been a long time. And like I said, a lot of people, I don't know. I mean, yeah, obviously I'm bummed as to how the game or the season ended this year. I mean, they were up 24-7 and they blow that lead. Excuse me. And it's just like on the road against San Fran, the number 1 seed, you're up by that much. I mean, you got, there's a whole other half of football, man. We've seen collapses like this before. Teams up big, going into halftime, they come out and they're flat and they end up losing the game. Unfortunately, this time we lost the game that mattered most. We win, we're going to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, we lost. It was a heartbreaker. I had trouble sleeping that night, I'm not gonna lie. And then this whole week was kind of rough, especially Monday. I really didn't feel like going to work, but it is what it is. Like I said, this season, me personally, I'll ask you what your thoughts about it are, John, how the season went. 12-5, going to the winning 2 home playoff games, going to the NFC Championship game. That's pretty damn impressive in Dan Campbell's 3rd year as a head coach. So, yeah, I mean, he goes for it on those 4th downs, didn't get them. Okay, he's been doing it all season long. Josh Reynolds has to catch the ball. I mean, it's that simple. He dropped 2 critical passes in that game. I'm sure you can agree with me on that, John. And then Jahmyr Gibbs with that fumble, that hurt us too. So, yeah. But yeah, talking about that, what was your how you think the Lions? What was your assessment of the Lions this year? How you think they did? Were you impressed?
Well, I mean, no shit, man. I mean, I think everybody that fucking turned that shit on and they went 12-5. No one could have fucking thought the Lions were gonna go 12-5. No, not only that, who the fuck thought they were gonna win a playoff game? They always choke. They always blown it. I was just watching something the other night. NFL on Fox had an Instagram post about the Lions, struggles over the years getting to a playoff win. And in how long it's been since they've been in the NFC Championship, since 91 and as well. And just the 0-16 year with us growing up. We are a lifelong fucking Detroit Lions fans, man, through and through. We bleed blue, motherfucker.
For sure.
But it, like, it's been such a beautiful thing. In Texas at the Dallas airport, because Dan Campbell's from Dallas. I met him in the airport before the season started. It would have been in July. He was going back home. He's from around Waco, he told me. But I went up and I'm with my dog, German Shepherd. I'll put the picture in the podcast here, but for those y'all watching. But I was traveling with my dog Ace. She's a black female German Shepherd, and we were traveling through the airport. And I was going out to Dallas. I was working at a job down there in Dallas, and I ended up seeing him at the baggage claim. And I look at him and I'm going, is that fucking Dan Campbell? Is that fucking Dan the man, Dan fucking Campbell? And
that's awesome, brother.
And I'm looking at him like, that's fucking Dan Campbell. And I go up to him and I go, I'm wearing my Michigan State shit. I usually wear that shit like, because I played college football, like Zach said. I played it at Michigan State and I played at New Mexico. And so usually there's a lot of times where I'm bumming around and I'll just wear, it's all free shit. So I wear Michigan State or New Mexico Reds, shoes and all kinds of stuff, shorts, shirt. And I was wearing a bunch of green and white. Anyways, I go up to him and I was like, Dan, are you Dan Campbell or something? And he's like, I said, John Bryce, nice to meet you, or whatever. And he's like, I don't know. And he was just hella cool, man. And I just said, man, it means so fucking much for what you're doing for the city. It means so much what you're doing for the state. Dude, and he already knows that. He was on the team in 2008 when we were growing up, in 2008 when we went 0-16.
Yes, sir. Yes, he was.
It not only was it a depressing time for so many years for our sports teams, Michigan Wolverines. I mean, if you're from the east side of the state, everybody pretty much, they grow up kind of around a Michigan fan, or they're Walmart Michigan fans and shit. For them to win a national championship this year, fucking incredible. I'm not a Michigan fan, but fucking incredible. I grew up with all my family being Michigan fans. Really, it's cool as shit, man. I got a lot of respect and all that. Like, it's just so cool. I got a lot of love for the state doing well as a whole. I want our state to do well as a whole, but it's just to see the energy that having an outstanding collegiate football team in our state has given us. To see the positive energy that the Lions, okay, this is what I'm getting back to. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off track, but to see the incredible energy that the Lions have brought to this state, to Detroit City, to the surrounding, to the suburbs, to the country, to everywhere in this state, man. It's a beautiful fucking thing. People are finally starting to wear Lions gear again, because it's just so long of every Sunday growing up, man. And I'm sure you felt the same way. There was every single Sunday when you turn on that fucking channel and the Lions were playing, you're looking at it and you're going, as a kid, and you're just like, this is so fucking depressing. And it was already depressing as a state, in a city. The city filed for bankruptcy. The state didn't, we need it. Like, the city was fucked up. All our cities are fucked up. You look up the top 50 most dangerous cities in America, all of our major cities are in all those lists, because jobs left when the automotive industries, when they all moved to Mexico and wherever for cheaper labor, it crushed our state, but like, we've needed something like this so fucking bad as a state. Our communities, we've longed for something so good like this for so long. It has been such an incredible thing just to witness, and to meet Dan Campbell before the season, and just to be able to shake it. I mean, he don't remember me, whatever, but like, that's the type of, I already knew a few years ago, that's, no matter how he turned out, no matter how it went, that I've played on a lot of different teams. Winning teams, a lot of losing ones too, and a lot of ones that are fucked up, got character issues, got player issues, got coaching issues, administrative issues, you know, that fuck up, you know, things. To have a coach that has your back, that has the player's interest in mind, because not too long ago he once was a player and he went through the process and he dealt with the worst of the worst of the worst teams, like 0-16, the one he was on. You gain an understanding of what the fuck you don't want, what you don't want as a culture, what you don't want in the locker room as a culture, on a coaching staff as a culture, because you know firsthand what it does as a player. I am such a huge fucking proponent of Dan Campbell and what he has done for the city, what he's done for the state. Like, everything he says, I am with him. I haven't heard one thing Dan Campbell has said, and I'm like, that's some spineless shit. That's some pussy shit. That's some, you know, and sorry for my swearing and my yelling, you know, I'm like, we're a little Italian, so we, you know, we yell and shit. You know,
hey,
but
man, hey, this is America. We say what we want. Whatever, brother. You say whatever. You have the floor.
But it just I don't know, Zach. I know I'm getting going here, but like, it means the fucking world to have a player's coach. It gives me so much pride, once again, to be a Lions fan. I've always been a Lions fan. In the 2008 year, when I was young and I was growing up, I'm 10 years old. I still love the Lions, but guess what? Life, all the shit that was going on, the recession, it was a depressing fucking time, you know. And in Michigan in the winter too, with all these gray skies, we don't get a lot of sunshine. Yeah. On top of it, it gets depressing, you know, when your mom and dad, you know, they go from job to job to job, you know, or on top of all that shit. I mean, it was like we were down for a long time as a state, you know, and to see this coming back, to see the Detroit rap culture take off, everybody trying to copy our style now, everybody trying to, you know, and you know, and people, you know, who is the other team? I'm trying to think. The first team we played in the playoffs, or maybe it was the Bucks, and they're doing the Blade Icewood, you know, dance in the end zone and shit, and they're mocking us and shit. Like, Detroit culture has taken the fuck over, and it's our time now, motherfuckers, and it's our time now, and it's just, it's so fucking, it's long overdue, man. It's long overdue, because we've been down for a long fucking time. So it's been an incredible thing to see, man, for the city, for the state. It gives me so much pride, you know, to be from Michigan. Yeah, it's gritty here, motherfucker. Yeah, it's a lot of gray skies. It's a lot of shitty weather. Good, don't come here. We don't, California folks, we don't want you motherfuckers, man. Yeah, stay the fuck over there.
Yeah, you know, stay in California. Yeah, we don't need you.
Like, our state is a great mix, man, of like, it's really a balanced state, and we're not totally right. We're not totally a red state, and we're not totally a left state. We're a balanced state, but we have some great laws. We got some great fucking people. But I'm just excited, man. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the future of the Lions. You know, Michigan. Hopefully Michigan State can pull their head out of their ass, but you know, they just gonna keep throwing money at the wall, hope it sticks. So they're with their billionaire donors. Come on, hey, fund the $25 million weight room expansion. That'll bring the kids. How about the culture, you dumb fucks? You know, how about the coaching like, I don't, you know, it's so weird. D'Antonio, when I played for D'Antonio, I was a part of the team with D'Antonio. D'Antonio was a legend. D'Antonio was a boss. He didn't even have to say it, man. Like,
great coach.
Like, when you know, and when we grew up, man, like, dude, I don't know about you, but when was the first time you watched The Godfather, man?
Oh man, yeah, you gotta go back some years. I was a little one for sure. I was probably
how old?
Yeah, maybe 8, 9 years old, maybe. Now I've seen parts of it because it's a long movie. It's a 4-hour
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
8-year-old attention span. That's not gonna
Yeah,
work.
trust me, I
But
know.
yeah,
But look,
probably around 8 or 9.
yeah. So,
Great movie.
and what I'm trying to say about D'Antonio is that like D'Antonio moves like a boss through and through, and he had a spine and a backbone. D'Antonio was a G and he didn't have to say it. And that's how you know those are real G's. Like those are real gangsters, man. Motherfuckers that got balls. They don't have to fucking say it. And D'Antonio, man, the first time I watched The Godfather, I was 5 years old. My dad, right in here in the house, my dad said, my mom was coming out of the shower. I was sitting on the couch over here. My dad was on the other couch. And I didn't know what the fuck I was watching, and or what's going on in that slow long movie. But and my mom walks out. She just got out of the shower, and she walks out. She's brushing her hair. And she's like, "What are you guys watching?" And my dad's like, "The Godfather," and she's like, "Kevin, he can't be watching that. He's 5 years old." And he's like, he needs to watch it. He needs to watch it. And but like, dude, like I've been watching those kind of movies my entire life. I fucking love them. I love all of my movies. I want to ask you about that later, actually. But
for sure,
like I've been watching those movies all my life. Dude. But it's not even a movie. I met a lot of people that are doing big things and shit, man. But D'Antonio, man, he is like. Michigan State needs a guy with a backbone like that, who has morals, lives off of principles, lives off of, there's a lot of things you can say about his time there. And I think there was a lot of fucked up people that tried to fuck him up, at the end. I love Coach D'Antonio, and I see right through that, man. But it's guys like that, and I guess that was a long-winded way of me saying, like, I see a lot of that in Dan Campbell, but even better, he's younger. He has more energy. He played more recently. It's just such a beautiful thing. We got a young team. We got the best fucking executive in Brad Holmes. Is that his name?
Yeah, Brad Holmes. Yeah, he's changing that culture too. Yeah, don't forget about him. He drafted those players.
He's the one drafting the right players that for years and years and years we're like, stop drafting a tight end, you dumb fucks. We need an offensive line. All those years we kept losing and losing.
You got it right with Laporta this year, though. You gotta give him that. He got it right because Laporta went off. He kicked ass this year. He
100%.
best tight end in the league, in my opinion. Now, I'm not just saying that being biased. Living in Michigan, being a Lions fan, like,
I don't know if
look what he did as a rookie. As a rookie, dude, unbelievable.
As a rookie, he's fucking incredible.
Don't forget about him. He's changing that culture too, not just Dan Campbell. Those two, and then Sheila Ford Hamp. I'll throw her in the hat.
No, 100%.
Yeah, she's changing the culture too. All three of them, and they've done a wonderful job. 3 years together, and it's like a brand new team. So yeah, I was gonna say now. With that being said, obviously they lost the NFC Championship game to the 49ers. So now talking about next season, they got a tougher schedule. But what's the benchmark for the Lions? Is it the championship game, winning that, or is it Super Bowl or bust? I've heard some comments and some different opinions on that on all the local sports radio shows, like 97 won the ticket. They had some different opinions. So John, I just wanted to ask you, well, what's the benchmark for the Detroit Lions next year? They made it this far this year, but now next year, what we got to do? I mean, Super Bowl or bust, or do we have to win the NFC Championship game? What's the benchmark for our Lions next year?
To me?
Yeah. Yep.
It's 100% the standard now. It reminds me of when I was playing. For example, like in high school, it depends on the culture of where you're at.
Yeah.
Some teams, their Super Bowl is getting a fucking playoff win for the first time in 31 years. I was like,
Like us, for sure.
right? Like it's getting one win. Like, but even though we wanted a lot more this season, we had very lofty goals for our first time being there. Now we have a little bit of experience, and we fucked up. We choked. We dropped the bag. We were up 17 points, but now we have a little bit of experience. That's a huge thing for a young team to get punched in the mouth, and now for for them to have a little bit of experience at some of the highest levels with the most pressure, the brightest lights. But for example, like I was trying to say though, is that like on different teams, different things are their Super Bowl. For Michigan State on a bad year, that's beating Michigan just to fuck up their plans of everything.
Yeah. You guys did a lot of that with Dan Antonio. He found a way to beat us every single year. I mean, that defense. You guys had some good defensive teams during this time because he was a defensive-minded coach, so he took care of business. I'll give him that.
No doubt. And like, so that, but like in high school, for example, at Lumen Christi, when I played at Lumen Christi, the only thing that we fucking talked about was winning a fucking state championship. The standard is the standard. The standard is the standard. But it's on wherever you're at. And then this is where people sometimes they just look at a team and they go, "Oh, those kids, they suck. They fucking suck. That kid drops the ball. That kid did." And and there is a lot of the players, how good they are to do with the success. 1,000%. They're the ones playing the fucking game. But it's a collective, they call it a team for a reason. It's a collective fucking team effort from the ground up. The players have to be taught the right way to think, to think under pressure, not have, as Coach D'Antonio would call it, not to have a fog of war in your eyes. Once you get those bright lights on that situation, you're not looking like that glaze over your eyes.
Deer in headlights, exactly.
Yes. Yep. And but that's where the standard is the standard, motherfucker. If your standard is to go to the Gator Slayer tax Slayer Bowl or whatever the fuck that bullshit is, or to go to the fucking toilet bowl, or go to the fucking peanut butter bowl, or what? No one gives a fuck, man, about that dumb shit, man.
No,
and that should never be the standard as a coach or a culture or a team, man. Like, it's unacceptable, man. That shit is unacceptable. Like, if we're gonna do this shit, let's fucking do this shit.
Go all the way. Yeah.
We're like
100%.
So, and I think that's how the best of the best ones, the best coaches, the best teams, motherfucker, the standard is the standard. There is no if, ands, or buts. Maybe we'll win a playoff game. Maybe we'll win the Big Ten championship. Woo! Like, motherfucker.
Yeah, win the whole fucking thing.
Are we?
Yeah, we're not done. We're not done.
Great. Like, but every single year, like, it should be and I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, because I'm real. I'm gonna say real shit. Ohio State, their mentality down there in Columbus, it's right. Championship or bust. Alabama, championship or bust. Georgia's coming to the mix with Kirby Smart. All of
I mean, I'm trying to think of
underlings are coming to bite him in the ass now. But,
I'm trying to think of other teams who's made it to the championship. I mean, obviously you got the Alabamas, you got Georgia. I mean, Clemson's been there a couple of times. Florida, but they haven't been really that good in a long time, since like probably the Tim Tebow years. I mean, am I wrong on that? I mean, I don't know. That's the last time they won championships. Urban Meyer was there, of course. Gotta remember those days.
Yeah, but I mean, every single year they're coming and kicking a motherfucker's door and fuck them up. They're coming with an aggressiveness and a mentality and a ferociousness that's unmatched. Like, y'all were shooting for the conference championship. Yeah, we're gonna fucking kill you. We're gonna put your head on a. We're gonna put your fucking head on a stake in the town square, motherfucker. Like, yeah,
That's it, brother.
Auburn. Like for Alabama, it'd be like, hey Auburn, yeah, you're shooting for us. That's your fucking national championship. Guess what, buddy? We can't wait to put your fucking head on a stake or hang you in the fucking town square, motherfucker. Fuck you guys. Like
we're going for the bigger picture.
It all comes back to having the right mentality, but it can't, like, in order for things to click in organizations I've been on, these are teams making, like Michigan State back in 2018 or whatever. I looked it up. They were making like $100 million. It was like $93 million. I mean, I played on like a lot of money. There's a lot of people's livelihoods and jobs involved and families involved, and people depend on this shit. It's their life. And but it takes a good board. It takes at the collegiate level and at the pro level, like Sheila Ford Hampton. I don't want to just inherit something like the rest of my family's done and fuck around with it. Are we taking it there or are we fucking around?
Right. 100%.
She's taking it there. Mad fucking respect to Sheila Ford Hampton. She's kicking fucking ass. It takes a brain at the top, a visionary, and then you get people that are more experienced and way smarter than you in different things to build a beautiful fucking team that builds a result like we have this year. Now in the third year, we got a super young team. We got a young fucking coach. I don't think he has a loyalty and a backbone and balls, man. That motherfucker changed the game. Think about it in the last few years before this. No coach had a sack like this motherfucker, going for it on fourth down as many times as he had. And that's something I want to call out these Lions fans for, these fair weather fucking fans. Oh, he should have kicked the field goal or he should have did this or that. Guess what, motherfucker? They were up by 17. They shouldn't have fucking lost the goddamn game. If they didn't fuck it up, 3 points don't matter, motherfucker.
Right.
It's not just on him. The players dropped the ball in the second half a lot. They thought they were up. Man, we're up 17. We're going to the Super Bowl. Hey, fuck it. Hit the blade. I said, damn, bitch, what was you? Great, man. But you gotta fucking finish them, man. You gotta take them out behind the barn and fucking finish that motherfucker, man. You gotta you got to finish. And they knew that. They all knew that. That was a talk at halftime, I'm sure, by Dan Campbell. But sometimes weird shit like that happens. I said that to my mom. No, I said, you know what? I told her that literally before any of that shit happened. I go, I'm worried about them blowing it. John, what are you talking? What are you talking about? Or I think they'll be all right. I'm like, Mom, I'm worried about it. Trust me.
Yeah, when I was watching it too, I thought, I was like 24/7. That looked a little too easy, like too easy. You know what I mean? 49ers playing at home. We're up 17. Our running game's killing them. We're dominating on the offensive line. Jahmyr Gibbs is running around the field. David Montgomery's running around the field. We throw a reverse to Jameson Williams. He scores the first touchdown in the game. Like, this is a little too easy. Our defense is playing pretty damn good. We're shutting down like Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle didn't really do anything in the first half. Like, this is too good to be true. I was happy. Don't get me wrong. I was happy that we were up 27 or 24-7 at halftime. But it's just there's a whole other half to play. We have to finish, and then obviously the unfortunate happened. So that it is what it is. But like you were saying, with the unlucky, weird shit happens. The catch from Ayuk bounced off of Vildor's face mask. He should have caught it. Like, that should have been an interception without question. And then Ayuk's there for the diving grab, makes a hell of a grab. You can say that could have changed the game. I mean, so many things in that second half changed the game. But you could say that was one. But yeah, that was a very unfortunate situation there.
No doubt. But it doesn't fucking happen. None of that other bullshit matters if you don't people want to take it back to one play. It's
Yeah.
a collective game as a whole. It's a multitude of things and problems and wrong mentality across the players and the coach. Maybe they were too easy on them at halftime. Usually as coach, you got to give them something to go. Well, and I'm sure Dan Campbell did. He's a great coach, but usually the mentality is no matter what, coaches always want to try and motivate their players. Even if it's something fake, they're going to create an enemy and for their players to attack that, to have the same mentality to come out in the second half, even if you're up big, to kick some fucking ass, right? So, hey, they're, they think you guys are fucking pussies, they want to take this from you guys. They want to, that kind of mentality, those kind of talks, and I'm sure something like that happened. Hey, but maybe he didn't step on that gas pedal enough at halftime. Maybe his energy was a little bit, he's trying to focus on a million different things. And okay, the offense, the defense, the team as a whole, I talk for a minute. But you know what though? But it makes sense. It makes sense though, man. The way the shit all happened. You know why? We acted like a team that's never been there before. But we haven't.
The experience.
But we haven't.
Yeah, the inexperience definitely showed. And I was going to mention that when you were talking about that earlier. The inexperience definitely showed in that second half. Obviously, the 49ers, they've been there before under Kyle Shanahan. Shit, they went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago facing the same Chiefs that they're going to be playing in a couple weeks. They've been there. They know how this works. Us, we were inexperienced. I mean, you got head coach who's in his late 40s, 46, 47, his third year. Leads his team to the NFC Championship game. All the rest of our whole team as a whole, one of the youngest teams in the NFL. So, of course, the inexperience is going to show, and it did, unfortunately, in that second half. So, I just want to make that side comment. But, go ahead.
No, 100%. I'm right there with you, man. And we're talking on the same thing, two different ways. But, it didn't really surprise me because it's – that's why I had mentioned it at the hat, but it's like we've never been here before. We are whooping their ass so much. I'm a little worried here. We might play like a team that has never been here before.
Yeah, it just doesn't know how to secure a lead. Yeah, exactly.
We did. But
exactly
I'm not worried about it in the big picture.
No. This Detroit Lions team.
The mentality is right. The city's behind them like no other team in the fucking country right now. The watch party in Detroit, when they were playing in San Fran, the whole fucking stadium was packed.
Dude, the tickets sold out in minutes. $20 to go there and watch it on the big screen. Sold out in minutes. I mean, I don't know what. I mean, if that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what will. I mean, that's pride, man. That's pride from
it's retarded how much, and I don't, no offense, but it's stupid how much everything is going in the right direction. But like Dan Campbell said, I thought he made a perfect fucking comment. Excuse me. After the game in the after game press conference. I need to watch that in whole. I still haven't, but I've seen parts of it. But the one part he said about we may never get here again.
Yeah, that stood out. I was just like, whoa. I mean, it's a reality check though.
No,
right?
But it's motherfuckers like that have the right mentality.
Yep.
That understand everything. We had this saying at Michigan State. Earned, not given. Every fucking thing in life, everything, it has to be earned, never given. And if you get fucked up, there's some people that they get their mentality fucked up. And like us at halftime, we got our mentality a little fucked up. We go, man, we got this thing in the bag, man. Fuck this shit, man. We got this, man. And they came out playing like that. And
totally flat. And they forgot you had to play another half of football. It's done when there's triple zeros at the end of the fourth quarter. That's when it's all said and done.
That's the only time you can rest and relax. And as a player, I never felt.
No,
I had always felt calm kind of like before games, not really calm, but like I would almost be like tired before games. There was so many times I was just like tired, man. Like, I want to fucking do this. Let's just do this shit. Like, I'm not into that
Right.
whole rah shit. I'm not on some Ray Lewis,
Yeah.
talking to
Yeah.
motherfuckers
No.
like that. Like, I
Go on
was
that field
always
and
the
take
dude
care of
like,
business. Yep.
dude, I'm like a motherfucking, I was talking with my counselor and friend, Todd, who was a former policeman, and like talking to him about some of this stuff, and he's like, dude, with how calm you are and stuff, like under pressure, man, like he's like, you remind me almost like I feel like I think to myself sometimes like, why aren't you like a like special ops, or
There you go. Yeah.
something like that, like a Green Beret or some shit like that. And honestly, I'd like to serve my country and do some crazy shit like that. I got that 1%er kind of mentality. I always have. I like to push myself. I like to, fight for freedom or something. But that's just kind of my mentality. It's just like I'm like, I don't get too emotional about it. I'm here to do a job. Let's get the job done. Take care of business. And and call it. Let's not, let's think of it like brushing our teeth. Let's not like, it's not like, oh my god, like, nah, we're here to do a fucking job, and let's finish them. Let's finish the team. Let's, like, so. But
Gotta
anyways,
play all
man,
4 quarters. Gotta play all 4
gotta
quarters.
play all 4 quarters, man. And
Got to.
anyways, last thing I want to say in the lines, and then I want you to give me something on this or something, but like,
For sure.
there was multiple people, family members of mine, etc., at the start of this Lions season when they lost that first game against Seattle, the bullshit in overtime where there was a hold on Aiden Hutchinson and it was not called. But guess what? Once again,
that was brutal. That was brutal.
Armchair quarterback fans think that shit happened on one play. Motherfucker, if there's even a chance for it to be decided by a flag that should have been called, that's not how the best think.
Right.
You don't leave it up to, just like in fighting. Am I going to leave it up to the judges, or am I going to knock that motherfucker out?
Exactly. You got
to have such a margin, such separation. There is no question. And of course, everyone wants to play like that, but it's just, it has to be like, it's like running the 40-yard dash. You have to think about, I'm going to run 45 yards. That's what they teach them. I'm pretty sure, my friends that went to the draft and shit, like you're running a 45-yard dash.
Right.
You have to run through them. You have to, it's that same mentality and everything. Because as humans, we like to, our survivalist instinct kicks in and we go, oh, well, I can chill at about 39 yards, 39 and a half, 38 and a half.
And that's when you're dead. And you think like that, you're not going to survive. You're dead.
Now you're done.
100%. Yeah, you're done.
100%.
Because that mindset just goes away and your brain just is like, okay, I'm satisfied with this. But then some motherfucker beats you by 0.5 because 39.5 instead of the 40-yard dash was good enough for you. But then that guy gave 0.5 more. And he ends up 100%, beating you.
100%. And so, but and the thing I wanted to tie it back in with is like at the start of the season, I'm sure you saw it too, maybe, but where people, when they lost that game, and people are going, it's the same letdown Lions. It's the same letdowns. What they call
Lions? SOL. Yep.
The letdowns.
I saw the comments. Yep.
Yeah, the letdowns.
Yep.
People like that are the motherfuckers that sit in the stands and have never really. I love how it does that little emoji, but.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you can do that. It's on iPhone too. It does. But anyway, like with the fans, it's those kind of fans that those are motherfuckers that have never really, like that quote that your mom told me, Annie, about Theodore Roosevelt, the man in the arena. You can tell those motherfuckers never been in the arena.
Nope, never. She has that
Never.
posted in the kitchen. I read that the other day, and I was like thinking about it. I'm just like, that's Dan motherfucking Campbell. If you really think about it, that's Dan motherfucking Campbell and how he
Yep.
approached the season. Trusted his team to go on 4th downs. We're going to do whatever it takes to win. I don't care. We're not going to settle for, a tie or whatever. We're winning this motherfucker. So, yeah, I read that, and I'm glad you brought that up because, yeah, I read it literally like a few days ago, and I was just like, man, that's Dan motherfucking Campbell biting off kneecaps because he don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome you mentioned that.
Yeah, and just what I was going to say is that, like, those type of people, there's a lot. The majority of people are those kind of people. They have to see something to believe it. Other people, even before that, they know the good signs that should lead up to a team that's coming up and is on the rise. Not just one loss and then I'm emotional and forget them and they're the same letdowns. Motherfucker, if you've been watching the trajectory of the last few seasons, you're like, first year, dog shit. Same, okay, but it's their first year. He's taking on a team, just like in college, they talk about it. When you're taking on a team, you did not help recruit, you did not help get signed, you did not in the NFL, it takes a lot to trying to build the right culture, players in the right spots.
Yeah, try and figure everything out. Yeah, it's like a puzzle. Yeah, you're trying to figure everything out. But what's best for the organization.
Yeah, and it's like people like that. It's like they had to see the 12-5 season to go like, oh, the Lions are good now, and it's like, but even at the start of the season, I wanted to do a podcast or some clips on that originally back then, but like people like that, and that's sadly it's a majority of people. They got to see it to believe it. Yeah. But this Detroit Lions team, they're going to be a lot different, a lot better. It's a whole different thing, and I don't know. I don't want to just say that, but even before the season, even if Dan Campbell had an okay season or it was marginally better, maybe by a win or two or whatever, but like we played like this year, the whole theme it comes back to, think about, we go 8-0 and then we get our ass, I'm pretty sure 7-0, 8-0, and then we get our ass whooped by Baltimore at Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, we got destroyed.
We played like a team that's never been undefeated and kicking ass, and we have the target on our backs before. But it's a totally different team, and that's what I just wanted to finish off with that on the Lions segment, because if you still think this is the same letdowns or, oh, Dan, if you're after the game going, oh, Dan, I saw all the comment. Oh, Dan Campbell, hey, this and that, fucking, that was stupid. That was retarded of you to fucking, you should have kicked the field goal, man. Then we wouldn't have lost and all this dumb shit. Motherfucker, I can tell you smoked weed and sat in the fucking stands that your whole fucking life, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's a thumbs up again. I like that.
Yeah. Go get back in the fucking stands and shut the fuck up. Because no one fucking cares. Like, obviously, you never been in the fucking arena before, man.
Right.
And it couldn't be more obvious. And I can't stand those kind of fucking fans, fair weather fans. When times are good, they're there. When
they're bad, they don't bother even wearing the gear or watching games.
They just shit on everything. Oh, Dan Campbell, this and that. Oh, this guy dropped 4 passes. Dude, they were up 17. It took many, 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 many shitty plays to get to that even being a thing.
Right. For sure.
And if you love Dan Campbell so much before that game and all this other shit, how are you going to change up because he's done the same exact shit that he's done in all the other games, going for it on this and that? I was surprised he even kicked the field goal before halftime. Remember that?
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad. See, I am glad you brought that up because I was actually listening to 97.1 The Ticket and Rico. He's all right. I'm not really a big fan of him, but he made a very good point about that, and I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, it was like late in the second quarter, like maybe 10 seconds left. We're at their like 2-yard line, 4th down. And he's like, you could see the split screen. You can see what he's trying to think. He's trying to think, I don't know if I should go for it or kick the field goal. And Jared Goff's like, what are we doing? He hesitated. And I think that kind of killed him a little bit, because knowing Dan Campbell, if you watched, obviously you watch football, but anyone else, who's ever is going to listen to this podcast, see this podcast later. If you watch the Detroit Lions season, all season long, that guy's going to go for it. 4th and short, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3. He's going for it. But he likes to kick the field goal. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because you know what? That could have been the start of what was yet to come. People don't remember that play. They want to talk about the drop passes and, why is he going for it on 4th down? Because 3 points, it's not a given. Because earlier in that game, Jake Moody, the San Francisco 49ers kicker, Michigan alumni, by the way, I had to mention that. Sorry, John. He missed a field goal. He missed a field goal that was like 40 yards out, 40 plus yards out. So Michael Badgley, like what? You're going to depend on him to kick those field goals that we went for on 4th down? Like 3 givens, yeah, take the points. I'm all about that. But at the same time, nothing's a given. Nothing's a given. Those field goals, I mean, he could have shanked it left. He could have shanked it right. It could have been blocked. Whatever. Like 3 points, it doesn't mean anything. Like it's not a given. So for him to go up 4 on 4th down, that's what he's been doing all season long. He did it in the first game of the fucking season against Kansas City at like our own like 12-yard line or whatever, 20-yard line, whatever the hell it was. And we got it. That was fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So, but yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. When he went for it on that field goal, instead of going for it, trying to get 7 instead of 3, that I was kind of weird. I was trying to wrap my head around that too, because it's like you've been going for it on 4th down and short all season long. Why are you taking the points? And he hesitated. I think that killed him, in my opinion. So that's my comment.
Know what?
But I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm really glad. I think that's a really, really interesting take you brought up, in a very interesting perspective, because that might have been the start of him not acting like himself. I see what you're saying, and acting conservative, and it's exactly what the announcers were talking about going into the second half. You still got to play like you. You can't pull back too much, of course, and then play conservative and act scared, and then you're not acting like yourself as a team. So I think all of them know, but this comes with experience at the highest of levels.
Yep, the experience.
They will come back next year. They will be much fucking stronger. And now they're not just the letdowns to people. They're not just whatever. They're coming in this next season with some swag, with some serious fucking grit, the most in the country. They embody all the characteristics of the Midwest gritty, industrial, factory workers, the
blue collar workers,
the blue collar community here that's strong as fuck. Which has built this fucking state on their backs, that make up the majority of the state. Our family members, our friends, our associates. Like it's just, we got a lot going for us, and I'm extremely excited to see what they do. Now, I guess last thing about the Lions, I saw some people talking about it. What's their biggest needs, in your opinion?
Their biggest needs, in my opinion, you got me personally. Yeah, they need another defensive end. Like Aiden Hutchinson can't do it all the time. We need another defensive end who's fast, who can get to the quarterback. So we're not relying on their interior defensive lineman and Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, yeah, he gets held every single play anyway, but we need another edge rusher, like an elite edge rusher who can get after the quarterback, create pressure, get after the ball carrier, whoever has the ball, get your ass back in there and make the fucking play. We need another edge rusher. And then on top of that, I think we need like a shutdown corner, because I hate to say it, Cam Sutton's not doing it, bro. And you saw that in the playoffs. You saw that really all season long, but you saw that in the playoffs. He goes up against their best receiver because, of course, Cam Sutton's our best shutdown corner that we have, unfortunately, and he got burned by Puka Nacua. He got destroyed by Mike Evans, and then he got humiliated by Deebo Samuel. They're the team's wide receiver one. I mean, he got embarrassed. He can't keep up with those guys. So you got to find a shutdown corner wherever, whether it's in the draft or through free agency. I don't care. We need to sharpen up that secondary because that was our weakness. I mean, you want to do all the strengths and weaknesses of the Lions. Their biggest weakness, and we saw it really all season long, but we definitely saw it in the playoffs, was their secondary. So shutdown corner, edge rusher, that's what we need to look at. Our offensive line is good. If we can re-sign some guys, that's great. You know, offense is good. Obviously, we really don't need to touch on that a little bit. Defensive line is good. Like I said, just another edge rusher. Linebackers are pretty good. Secondary, yeah, we need to clean that up a little bit. So how about you? I'll ask you the same question. What do we need to address, I guess, going to the offseason or to the draft, which is going to be in Detroit this year, by the way. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I forgot that.
Yeah.
But which I think that's the first time in ever.
I think so. Yeah. I don't think we ever hosted because they usually had it.
No one ever gave a fuck about.
Yeah, that too.
Fan
Yeah.
base.
Well, yeah, Detroit was pretty violent back then, and it's cleaning up a little bit, little by little. It's looking a lot nicer.
Yeah, no,
versus 20 years ago.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot of institutional money coming into play. The owner of Quicken Loans, Dan, what's his name?
Dan Gilbert.
Dan Gilbert. You know, I heard he's buying up a lot of the east side over by off of Jefferson on the east side over by the river, which I think on my real estate brain side of it, my business side of it, I think, man, if it'd be a hard task. You're going to turn around the east side. The east side for the longest time has been known as the grimiest, the grittiest, the shittiest, side of town. I mean, but I think if you could turn around that east side on the river, if you could make it, beautiful, if you could build it back and make it a lot more housing overlooking the Detroit River, what a fucking beautiful thing that would be for the city. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. To go back to your question, what do the Lions need?
Yeah, what did he need to address?
What do they need to address position-wise? I'm thinking, and I'm excited to see how Dan Campbell comes back from that loss, what he learns from it, how that whole coaching staff and executives, how do they look at it? How do they look to improve from how they slipped up there? How did I hope they really learn from their mistakes, but and I'm sure they will. They got a whole off season to look over that. I'm sure they'll do their homework.
Yep.
But for position needs, I agree with you 110%. Because I heard the announcer say, and I kind of agree with him, out of those final four teams, the Detroit Lions offensive line, they said was the best. And I was like, I think
100% they were. 100%.
I think they've really built a very strong unit there. 100%.
Yeah. About time.
And it's about time because forever that was our biggest need, and they never drafted for it. They had sourced some guys. That one guy from Green Bay who they brought over.
TJ Lane. Yeah, TJ Lane, I do believe.
TJ Lane was a fucking beast. Anyways, their biggest needs, man, I'm thinking our one deep threat. I love that guy. Who's that guy? He had the gambling issue.
Oh yeah, Jameson Williams, JMO, out of Alabama.
We needed that for fucking ever. We got him now. He's a young guy. If he stays on the right track, I'm sure he will. It seemed like it was a little,
hopefully. Yeah,
you bet a little money on the side. Hey, you can't blame some of these guys. They're fucking human too. You get all you fucking degenerates love your fucking DraftKings and all that. You fucking stupid motherfucker.
Yeah, I'll raise my hand on that. I do some sports betting.
Fucking degenerate fucks. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to hell because I place a sports bet. Oh my God.
It was illegal forever. Now all the legal
Yeah, all the
entities wanna
commercials.
fucking
You see it advertised, and then the
it's
players
fucking
can't.
terrible.
They
It's
can't. They
terrible,
can't
man.
place bets. It's like what? I don't know.
It's
Yeah, the
stupid,
NFL is
but
a little weird.
yeah,
They're
well,
a
just
little
like all these sports organizations, oh, oh, you can't smoke weed, and everybody's been smoking weed in all these leagues and all these colleges for fucking ever, by the way.
forever.
All of us have always been blowing dope. Always, man. I mean, your favorite players, you name it, man. I fucking smoked with them, man, but like man, it's just dumb shit like that where it's like some of these expectations, like these guys are humans too, man. But anyway,
Yeah.
to the needs, man, the coverage, the secondary and the coverage unit on our defense definitely needs some love and attention. We saw that. The executives and the coaching, they saw that. I'm sure they'll adjust. I'm sure they'll do it right. I have faith in him, man. I had faith in him before the season just because of the trajectory and the culture he's building. That's most important, man. The culture to culture to culture. So now he's built that. Now he's built a proof of concept, and the executives and the players, they've all come together to create that into a reality. So I'm excited to see where it goes from there. Next thing's next, man. I want to talk to you a little bit about this UFC, man, specifically, and I didn't watch his last fight, but I want to ask you about this fighter, the loudmouth, the hottest fucking thing in the UFC right now, Sean Strickland, man. What do you think about this guy? Loudmouth, crazy motherfucker, fucking bad motherfucker, man. What do you think about Sean Strickland, man?
Yeah, you know what, man? He has no filter, and I like that. We live in a world now where everything is looked at, reviewed, and censored. You say something, you do something, you're going to get canceled. I mean, I guess, it's 2024. Yeah, there's words that we probably shouldn't say anymore. There's things probably we shouldn't do anymore, but we're all human beings. Like, I drop a swear word or I call someone a name. Oh, I'm canceled. Like, no, dude. And Sean Strickland, he just doesn't give a flying fuck, dude. He's going to say what he wants, does what he wants. And as a fighter, dude, yeah, he's a bad motherfucker, man. I mean, we saw that in the Israel Adesanya fight. When he clocked him, I was just like, holy shit. I'd never seen Adesanya take that much damage in that fight, in any fight, because Adesanya was the middleweight king for a long time. No one was stopping that guy. I mean, the guy was unbelievable. And then Sean Strickland comes in with his boxing style. No jiu-jitsu, barely. No wrestling, nothing. He beat Izzy to win the title strictly from boxing. No kickboxing, strictly just hands. So watching that was crazy. And then the recent fight a couple weeks ago against
how do you say this fucker's name? Dricus du Plessis.
Yeah, it's Dricus du Plessis. I think that's how they pronounce it.
Can you say it again? You broke up there.
Oh, sorry. Dricus du Plessis.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, the S is like silent, but
yeah.
I wasn't able to
I didn't watch this. I didn't watch it either, man. It says it was a decision, so it came down to a decision.
Yeah, it was a split decision. Yep. So it was a closer fight than many people thought. A lot of people were saying Strickland won the fight. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I was going to watch it, but I was really tired, and I was going to watch it on my phone, but I fell asleep, so that didn't work. But yeah, Sean Strickland. Yeah, man, he's making a name for himself, I guess. Just say what he wants, does what he wants. He's a good fighter. I mean, I've seen him compete. A few times in that fight against Adesanya. I thought that was a hell of a performance by him. Yeah. And then, you got that going on. And then obviously we got a pay-per-view coming up in a couple weeks. I think it's February 17th. You got Alexander Volkanovski going up against Ilia Topuria. I think that's going to be a crazy-ass fight right there. You got two good fighters going at it. And then Ilia Topuria, man, don't sleep on him. But, obviously Alexander the Great, he's a pretty damn good fighter too. So I think that's coming up. Yeah, let me check real quick. Let me see what we got here. Schedule. But yeah, definitely. I think the one fight that and this is going back to last year, the one fight that I was actually looking forward to was Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. And it was a good fight until that second round. Gaethje just smacked Poirier with that head kick, and it was game over. So yeah, you had that going on, and he's actually going up against Max Holloway pretty soon here. I think UFC 300 in April. I think that's when they're gonna fight Gaethje and Max Holloway. So that's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of blood spilled in that octagon.
And Connor's supposed to be on that.
Yeah, you know what? I think they were trying to get him and Chandler or him and Diaz, Nate Diaz for UFC 300, because obviously if he fought Nate Diaz, it would be the third time they fought. And it'd be perfect because Connor won the first fight. Nate Diaz, excuse me. Nate Diaz won the first fight, choked him out. The second fight, Connor won by decision. So the third fight, I mean,
I'd love to watch him. I love watching them bang it out, man.
Dude, right? It only makes sense. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I mean, it's kind of it's February now, April, obviously 2 months away.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can get something going, if they can get something done, I'm all about it. But I don't know. You can't forget about Michael Chandler too. He wants a piece of Conor McGregor. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to schedule if you're Dana White. But either way, it's going to generate a lot of buzz because you got Conor McGregor's name all over it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good fighters on here, man, on this April 13th UFC 300 card, man. It's saying that something about Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje or whatever. They said it was canceled?
Really? No, you were thinking probably of Dustin Poirier and then
No, I'm looking at it at the card underneath, but I don't know why it says canceled for some reason. And then above it says that it's I think it was supposed to be an undercard. Now it's the co-main event. And then now they're saying the main event is Willie Zhang. I don't know. I'm terrible with these names. Wele Zhang and I can't say these fucking names. And Yan.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. You're not the only one, dude. Yeah, you're not the only one.
I can't say their names.
I think they just put that up there because it's a championship fight. I don't know if it's going to be the main event. I mean, obviously, usually UFC fights are championship fights are going to be the main events. But yeah, no. And then I'm looking at this card too. You got Charles Oliveira on this card. Yuri Prochaska coming back from injury. He's on this card. Calvin Kattar and Aljamain Sterling going at it. Davison Figueiredo going up against Holly Holm, Cody Garbrandt. Holly Holm going up against that Kayla Harrison. She just signed with the UFC. She was from that was it Bellator or the PFL? I think it was the PFL. She was kind of made a name for herself in that organization. She's fighting Holly Holm, who's been around for a minute.
Holly Holm, she's a bad motherfucker out of Albuquerque, where I used to live. She's fucking Holly Holm.
Took out Ronda Rousey, man. Took out Ronda Rousey when she was on top.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
Holly Holm, and I mean she's older now, but like Holly Holm, the whole Jackson Wink team out of Albuquerque, it's the same place John Jones trains. I mean, they're a fucking masterful unit. They're so deep into their craft. And in Albuquerque, you're a mile high, so you got higher altitude to train at. It's a really low key, kind of slow, kind of boring area, shitty area, and a lot of places there. But there's some nice areas in Albuquerque and the surrounding areas, of course. But yeah, man, I don't know. They do a hell of a job down there at Jackson Wink, man.
Got a lot of talent.
They do. Also, real quick on Sean Strickland here, I wanted to show you a clip. You know a hell of a lot more about the UFC than I do. I haven't been paying much attention to it at all. I'm just a fan, a casual fan, really. But
yeah, I've been watching it a little bit, but obviously with these playoffs going on, obviously hoping the Lions would go to the Super Bowl. I kind of been missed out on some things for the UFC and mixed martial arts in general, but I try to watch a fight here and there.
Yeah. I want to show you this clip though from Sean Strickland. It's a clip with from Theo Von's podcast, and it's a clip. He's talking about his trauma and his childhood and stuff like that. I wanted to show you that and kind of hear what you think about this guy. But it seems like he's been through a hell of a lot, and it kind of has built his unique personality. Here we go.
remember I stopped believing in God, man. Like fucking, like I had fucking, yeah, it's crazy shit, dude. Yeah, crazy shit, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, bud.
Damn.
So,
We don't have to talk, man. I can just sit here with you for a minute.
Wow.
Sometimes it just comes out.
oh no, dude. Like I remember, I have a hole in my gum. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to scratch my gum and I have a hole in my gum. You know,
Just from being nervous and stuff?
nah, just anxiety, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, even to this day. Yeah. I mean, the day, dude, like, I'm a grown ass man. I don't give a fuck. I mean, you could post this. I don't care.
Oh, dude, I don't have any.
No, it's all good, dude. I mean, it's what it is, dude. I remember like laying in bed, like,
Wow. Yeah. You know, a fighter too. You know, the fighters are supposed to be, I guess, quote unquote tough guys, but we're all human beings at the end of the day, bro. We all have our issues. We all have our problems. You know, at the end of the day,
Yeah,
we gotta just try to, I don't know, I don't want to say battle it, but try to, you know, be better than what our current situation is. But yeah, that was rough, man. I mean, I think I saw like a little clip similar to that when he was talking about that, but his like childhood trauma and what he had to deal with. But man, that's still hard to watch.
yeah. I'd watched the whole interview with Sean Strickland and Theo Vaughn, and it was cool, man. Theo Vaughn did a hell of a job at kind of navigating that and
Yeah.
kind of creating a safe space, so to speak, for him to kind of open up, but not knowing when to. I think is talking to people, and I'm sure over time as you keep doing this, you get better and better. But like, you got to know when to step on the gas and when to press on the brake and shit like that. And I think he navigated it real well. But I just think, and that leads me into my next thing is that this podcast and my channel here, we're definitely a spot where we want to talk on our mental health and Zach has lost two uncles. I lost my dad and my uncle to suicide, and we want to create a good spot to talk on mental health and to advocate for positive mental health. It ain't a joke. There's a lot of us that have been through trauma. The older generations, they handle it a different way. They handle it in a much more quiet way, a self reflective way, not talked about, or whether by the bottle, or whether at the end of a joint, or things worse than that, or self-harm ways, or but that's a big part and mission of my channel too. It's not just to talk on here and shoot the shit, even though I love doing that.
Oh, yeah.
In sports,
had fun today with that.
in current, yeah, me too, man. And to talk on current topics, but we're here. I'm here, and with this channel, I'm here to create serious positive change in the world. In eventually, pretty soon here, maybe I'll tell a little bit about my story, and also I'm looking to interview other families and other people that are victims of suicide and gun violence, and we'd like to talk to them and raise money, and not just for people's families that have already committed suicide, but people that have mental health issues and stuff like that. We'd like to talk to common people and that are struggling with mental health, if they're willing to get on and just chat. And we're looking to probably try and raise money for suicide and gun violence victims and their families, and through the crowd here in the community that we build, and also with people that are seriously struggling with mental health and that could use some resources. So we're looking to try and kind of crowdfund, and that's one of the other things I'm looking to really do with this, looking to interview and help those people out and hear their stories, and give to the average family, average person, you know, and like how we were affected in our family life, it was changed forever. You know, through
for sure.
forever. I mean,
Yeah.
it created such a, it was so weird, it was so bizarre because no one had ever talked about that stuff, ever done anything like that, self-harm, nothing. And
Yeah.
it came out of total left field in both
Right.
instances.
I mean, you never would have thought, you know, but you just don't know. You don't know what people are going through. You know, you
No,
can't see it in here. You can't see in their minds, unfortunately. I mean, if
nope.
we could, I mean, maybe we could try to help those people. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah, very,
now say what you're gonna say.
very sad. Oh no, I was just gonna just say very sad stuff that yeah, we can't see what's in here because yeah, maybe that could have been the difference. You know, you can go to school all you want and see, you know, they can teach you all the signs of people being depressed or, you know, have suicidal thoughts. Okay, great. But, you know, if it happens, well, hopefully it doesn't. But if it does happen, like it's already too late, you know. But like I said, we can't see in here. We can't see in their minds. So yeah, it sucks, man. It really is unfortunate and sad that we can't do that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of that suicide prevention stuff, it's like, and you know, not should they only have a suicide, you know, I think J. Cole talked about it on a song. Not only should they have a suicide prevention line, they should have a a homicide prevention line too. My cousin, my mom's side here, he's a I don't know, like what do they call it? A DA, a district attorney or prosecuting
District
attorney.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's an assistant DA or something in a county here, but in Michigan. But he deals with that all the time, you know, homicide. But you know, like J. Cole talked in the song, they should have a homicide prevention line, you know, for I don't know, people that feel fucked up or maybe they did something to their family or you know, whatever. But there's I don't know, man. There's a lot could be done to help out. And I think there's a lot more than what's currently being done because obviously a lot of it ain't working. I think that there's also a lot of these issues because there's not a lot of fathers in the home. You know, and I'm sure, you know, as you know a little bit, like my relationship with my dad, it was very, you know, interesting and complicated and mixed feelings and you know, there was times my dad was in my life a lot. There was other times he wasn't as much. But I love my dad very, very much so. And it's a shame though, man. It's a shame because once people take it to that level, there's no rewind. There's no chance. It's
No.
just final. It's just done.
And it's like,
And it's just a shame, man. It's a shame because there's a lot of people that love them, but they're struggling in their own unique way. And I talked to my dad a million times about therapy, going to therapy or whatever, you know. But that it's sad that these older generations they don't do that shit really, you know.
no.
So
Yeah, and then you know, back then you didn't have the yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, but
no, you're good.
yeah, back then, you know, obviously they didn't have the resources, and then you know, obviously society, you know, norms and thought processes were different. You know, if you had mental health issues or you felt depressed, oh, okay, you're weak. You know, man up. And fast forward to today, thank God, our opinions and thoughts and the you know the mindset has changed on those situations. You know, people are depressed, people have anxiety, people I don't know, I hate to say it, but a lot of people out there feel worthless, and that shouldn't be the case. for any human being. I mean, obviously there's a lot of bad people out there, like, murderers, rapists, child molesters. Okay. Yeah. We don't give a fuck about them. I'm talking about the average, regular person, you and me, you and me. It's like, yeah, everyone has their problems. Some people go and get help, and that's great. Others choose to deal with it on their own. Unfortunately, it's like, no, always try to talk to someone, reach out to a family member, a best friend, a coworker, somebody. Resources are out there now. Obviously back then, not so much. And like I mentioned before, the thought process was that, oh, okay, you're depressed, you have anxiety, you're weak, man up, move on. And it's like, it's not like that anymore.
100%.
We're all human beings, man. No one's perfect.
100%. That's like why they say, like, never meet your heroes, because you see that they're imperfect. They're human beings. They put their pants on the same way.
Yeah.
In the morning, they bleed the same blood. But yeah, man, it's very interesting stuff. But I wanted to bring that up because that's a huge part of my channel here, in kind of our mission. We want to help crowdfund and use the power of the channel as we build up an audience to help others, man. Help others.
Right.
Like, I love Mr. Beast and how much he gives back. This is what I call it. It's kind of a different version of that, in a way, is how I think of it, but it's to help out people that are really, really in need, families that are really, really in need, that lost a loved one in a tragic way. And so anyways, with that being said, I want to ask you a little bit. I know you said you didn't want to talk on politics, but I want to ask you a little bit about what you think, and we don't have to if you don't want to, but I want to ask you a little bit about what you think about, it's probably going to be Trump versus Biden, because we live in such a free country, but we always end up with two main candidates and
two dumbasses, unfortunately, usually, or
so,
all the time. But
it's probably going to be Trump versus Biden. They've thrown the book and then some against Trump. It's gotten a shitload of people on his bandwagon because they're like, yeah, that's weird that they keep attacking the guy. He's supposed to be so terrible. They keep trying to put him away for like 1,000 years. Which he literally is facing, like, maybe not 1,000, but over 100 years with all these different cases and all these different DAs, district attorneys in different counties, and the one in Georgia, that just fell through because they were having sex or something, and now he's ordered to pay E. Jean Carroll, I don't even know who the fuck that is, $83 million, and I saw every single way they're trying to fucking tear this guy down, and it's such an obvious attack. Everyone's like, we all just want freedom, and I like all guys that are for the good of the people, anti-establishment. I'm not left, I'm not right. I don't honestly, and I think if you think that way, to me that's pretty goofy, because I don't even think there should be parties. I almost think the parties should be abolished, because that's what has built in and led into this corruption that we're in. We're such a corrupt nation that it's a button up kind of corruption here in the U.S. It's not like Mexico where the cartel runs the country and it's super obvious.
Yeah, for sure.
We're a lot more buttoned up. Things are whatever, but you got to have a lot more money here to corrupt this or that, like Nancy Pelosi's husband having a DUI, and you got to have some real power and pull here to for the laws to change for you in a lot of situations. But what do you think about the Trump versus Biden? And inevitably, it seems like it's going to be that. And what do you think about Trump being taken off the ballot in Colorado and Maine?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just crazy. Like you said, they just make him sound like he's like this horrible human being. I mean, I'm not a fan of Trump, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not at all. I'm not a Trumper by any means necessary, but it's just like to take him off the ballot though. It's like, well, like, what are we doing here? And then on top of that, Trump versus Biden. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to be that way. I just think Biden, I don't know, man. He's just so old, and it's just like it looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. And we can't have that guy be the president of the United States. I mean, I'm sorry, but you have to get someone in there a little younger who knows what to do and how to speak and how to treat people and talk to people and negotiate with different countries and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know. That unfortunately, these are the two candidates probably going to run for the 2024 presidential election. They both suck, and I'm with you, John. I'm not left or right. I'm central, if you want to even call it that. You know, I'm not the biggest politics guy. I don't really follow, politics because it just drives me nuts. But yeah, it's crazy times, crazy world we live in. Everyone's trying to influence an election, whether you're on the right or whether you're on the left. It's like, oh, we don't want Trump in there. Oh, we got to kick Biden out. Whatever, dude. At the end of the day, they're all politicians, man. They all suck. They all lie. They all cheat. Take advantage of the system. They all can kiss my ass. Yeah, no. I mean, at this point, it is what it is. Hate to say it like that, but we'll see what happens with an election coming up in November.
Yeah, man. If you had to pick one, who are you picking?
Oh man, yeah, I don't know, man. If I had to choose one of them, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I like them both. I don't know.
Yeah. So for me,
I don't know if I can answer that one because they
You're
both
good.
suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about you?
For me, man, I'm gonna keep it real, man. I've always thought if our economy is good, the average man does a little bit better in this country. Even though, to be honest, whoever's president or whatever, most times it really has not fucking mattered. But with the World Economic Forum, with Klaus Schwab, with them trying to control everything, with them trying to own all single family houses, with it, like, we need a very strong leader. And to be honest, back in 2020, even when it was unpopular, for economic reasons, pretty strictly, I don't care about what the fuck he says. I voted for Trump in 2020, and guess what? If people could take back their vote because they didn't like what he said and all this shit in the media about, oh, he's gonna cause us to have war, and then you get a soft slime ball fuck who's in bed with China, in bed with in Ukraine, all this corrupt shit. His son accepting a bunch of money. His son's a crackhead, but he doesn't get punished by the same laws. Then they tried to throw a case against Hunter Biden to oh yeah, we care about the laws with him too. And I don't even know what the fuck happened with that. But just, I voted for Trump in 2020. I'm sure as fuck not voting for Biden. I know that for a fucking fact. I really liked.
No, can't.
It sucks. It sucks with the way our politics are set up here. I wish it was on the merit and the individuality of each person, their content and their character, who they are. And I wish people didn't have to be fucking billionaires to say what they really want to say. I really liked RFK Jr., Vivek Ramaswamy, and I thought his podcast circuit that he did that built up his following was fucking genius. That grassroots marketing campaign.
So use
Genius.
social media.
That's modern.
Yeah, exactly.
To reach people, to reach young people. Fucking genius. He's a billionaire. He'll be back. I think he might be Trump's VP. From what it seems like, he says he's endorsing Trump, supporting him. I just think as a country, where we were at economically, 2016 to 2020 before pandemic, it just, we're way stronger as a nation with a guy who has a fucking backbone and says how he really feels, even if it doesn't make everybody happy. My sister doesn't like Trump because of the shit he said about women. Grab her by the,
Yeah.
I don't fucking blame a lot of women. I don't. My mom and my sister are fucking huge in my life. They always have been. It's always been like us against the world, kind of like Detroit versus the world, and the Lions versus the world. So I totally get it from a woman's perspective. I don't want somebody or something that, I don't want something in general that divides the country either. I don't.
Right.
That's where I love Vivek, because he's more about like, he's talking about like, he's seen Trump and his mishaps. Okay, I don't want to be like him, but he talks about bringing the country together. I think that's a beautiful thing. I would love it if things were less polarized, but our media and our politicians play into that very
Right.
heavily. And the ones that are in bed with other countries, I watch Andy Frisella. I don't know if you watch Andy Frisella a lot, but or here and there. No.
Yeah, doesn't
But-
ring, name doesn't ring the bell.
Yeah, but entrepreneur, supplement company out of St. Louis, Missouri, all about America, and has a podcast, Very America. And he's I love his stuff. He's a little extreme at times, but what I'm trying to say, anyways, is that like these things where these politicians are in bed with other countries. The old farts that are in Congress.
Yeah. You need to kick some of those people out too. Been there way too long.
All of
There
them
should be
motherfuckers.
that.
And it
Yeah,
should
there
be
should be
probably term limits, so that way
Yeah,
people
there should
can't
be.
get in the groove and get in there for 40 years and get hella corrupt and get payoffs from Boeing
Yeah,
and
getting
all the
paid
military
millions of dollars.
companies, and
Yeah.
like Nikki Haley, who went from like
Yeah.
her average salary, and then she got in bed with Boeing, and now she's like, yeah, I want war and I don't even want to stop it. It's like, that's dangerous as fuck. We're going on like a World War III scenario. We got China and Taiwan, we got the Middle East popping off, and we've had the Ukraine and Russia thing going on, and that's all because no one respects America anymore. And all of us younger people in America, we've been taught not to have American pride. We've been taught in the media, on social media, in culture, being white is a bad thing. Being proud, to be white, being proud to have roots from Italy, Belgium, as we do, Ireland, as
Ireland,
I do.
yeah.
That's a bad thing, that we're wrong. Motherfucker, the Italian part of my family just came over here like 75 years ago. They weren't involved in fucking slavery, bullshit like that. We were fucking peasants when we came over here. My grandma lived in the Mack Avenue projects. Our grandma lived in the Mack Avenue projects of fucking Detroit, man. 50 years ago. So it's like, I want the country to come together, but people that are in bed with other countries like that, like China, like Mitch McConnell, his wife, I don't know if you know this, his wife, her whole family is in the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, or whatever they call it. I'm pretty sure it's CCP, Chinese Communist Party. Her whole family's in that shit. Like, that's an obvious thing, like collusion against the United States. That's a treasonous act. That should be treated as such. People it should not be allowed at all. And I think it's terribly wrong, and I think it's causing the fall off of the country in where we're at now. And then all these billionaires that are sick fucks, like George Soros, that are creating chaos and that are aligned with the World Economic Forum, and them saying by 2030 you'll own nothing and be happy. I don't know if you've heard that, but
I might have seen something.
That's
real. I might have seen something. Yeah,
It's in his book.
That's
Usually,
that's a scary thought.
yeah, in Klaus Schwab's book, he came out with it in like May of 2020. Books usually take like a year and a half to 2 years to write. Is what I heard from like Patrick Bet David. He was talking on it. How the fuck did he come out with a book called The Great Reset when it's about COVID and the virus and the pandemic? And by 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. He says in that book, I'm pretty sure, if not something else he's published. Like, how did he have a 2-year head start on knowing about the virus? And how did, like, there's a lot of weird shit going on, man. Like,
This
it's
world,
fishy.
it's a weird place. It's a weird place, man. Like we don't know like half the shit.
No,
Like we focus on our lives so much that we don't even know what like whatever the fuck else is going on in this world. Yeah, it's
there's a lot of people like that, but people need to, and they really are. I think a lot of people are waking up. But
yeah, because they're sick and tired of the bullshit. That's all. You know, you can only handle so much as a human being. That finally you just explode and just stand up for yourself or stand up for this country, whatever the situation is. But yeah, people are just sick and tired of it.
Yeah, and I think to end it off here, man, I want to ask you. We'll go on a maybe a lighter note, but just curious. What's your favorite mob movie, man?
My favorite mob movie. Oof, man. Yeah, I know you mentioned that earlier. We were going to mention it towards the end. Oh man, there's so many good ones. Obviously, The Godfather. That's a classic. I mean, you can never
But
beat
what's
that.
what's like your
Godfather Part
favorite?
2.
Like maybe like, what's your favorite? Or give me like a top 3, man, or favorite.
Top 3.
We don't even have to say mob necessarily, like Cosa Nostra, Mafia, totally, but just like, what's your favorite like true crime, or like mob movie kind of thing?
Yeah. Oh man, I would say the tough
Not
one. I
true
mean,
crime, just crime and
right. Yeah, in terms, I guess mob movie. Yeah, I would probably have to put The Godfather up there at 1, and then 2. Me personally, I like Goodfellas. That's an all-time classic.
Mhm.
3, man. I mean, Casino was really good. I like Casino. That was a classic. Yeah, but Godfather Part 2 was good. So yeah, maybe a tie between those two.
Do you like 2 or 1 better? Godfather 2 or number 1 better?
Man, yeah, it's the rare times where I think the second film is better than the first, but the first is always a classic. I don't know, man. I would probably have to go for 2 because that's
I like number 2 more.
Yeah, because we saw the ruthless side of Michael Corleone. He didn't take shit from nobody. He's going to do his thing, establish his family business.
Coming on his own, and it shows the backstory to Don Corleone, and it plays back and forth. Yes. And it's such a beautiful way that they did it, man. I don't know. I almost, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, why didn't we learn all about Don Corleone at the start of the first one?
Yeah, you would think.
And then it went into, you see, versus, but like, no matter what, it was cool, but it was just Robert De Niro playing, Don Corleone early on. But
yeah, looking pretty young there too. Young fella there.
Oh yeah.
They all were really. But yeah, I think for the first one, I think they just wanted to show, Don Corleone, towards the end of his life. He's an aging mob boss. He's got to take care, these last few things as the Godfather, as the mob boss. He's obviously going to give the reins to Sonny Corleone. Unfortunately, he got killed and then wasn't able to take over. So Michael Corleone took over. So yeah, I think that's what they were trying to do with the first film. And then obviously the second film, you got to see the rise of Vito Corleone. And obviously Robert De Niro killed it, playing the young Vito Corleone. But yeah, the second one was definitely a very good one. I would have to agree with that for sure.
No doubt.
And then the third one, we all know how the third one
I never watched it.
You never watched it? Okay.
I never watched it. My cousin was just
Yeah.
telling me, like, because I've always just heard it's terrible. So I don't like wasting my time on shit like other people have already
Right.
said. Like, dude, it's a
It's a
total
long
waste of
movie
2 hours.
too. Yeah, it's a
3
long
hours.
movie. Long one. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but
I don't know.
I don't know. Andy Garcia was probably the highlight. His acting in that one was really good. He played a good character. What was his name? Vincent. Yeah, Vincent. He was like
Yeah, I
the
don't even know.
illegitimate son of Sonny Corleone, just to give you a backstory. But yeah, Andy Garcia definitely was the highlight of that film. I mean, yeah, I know you don't want to really waste your time watching dumb shit, but yeah, part 3. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but I mean, I don't know. It's not like the worst movie I've seen. I mean, there's so many other horrible movies out there I've seen, unfortunately. So, but yeah, yeah, the third one, that doesn't compete with the first 2, in my opinion.
That's what I've always heard. So I like to stay away from shit that I hear is no good. But
yeah, for sure.
Anyways, man, sounds great. Thanks so much for coming on, and
Yeah, no problem, brother.
Joint
Yeah, thank you.
podcast.
Yeah, thank you
Please
for coming on.
let everybody on my platform know where they can find you, what you got coming up next. Just anything you want to plug and put in here, man.
Oh, for sure, man. So yeah, this episode that we did together, you'll find the audio version. You can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can check me out there, and then the video version and on my YouTube page at Guys Time with the Bries. You just type that in, and you'll see a whole lineup of all my episodes I've done since last year, January of last year. So this episode will be on it. The audio version, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. The video will be on YouTube. And then obviously doing the podcast, I try to do an episode once a week. I've been doing them since the start of the new year on Wednesdays. So I'll have a new episode then. And then from there, maybe
tell them
John
your name. Tell them your name on YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff.
So yeah, on Instagram, it's at Guys Time the Bries. Obviously, you see the T-shirt here. Yeah, you just look for that logo.
You got merch too, right?
Yeah, I do. I do have some shirts available. I can post that on my YouTube channel.
Send me the link. Send me the link.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll send you the link. So you can show it to your
description
followers.
Below.
Yep, for sure. And then I have a YouTube channel too. So as I mentioned, at Guys Time the Bries as well. You can watch my videos there, and then I got my own personal page too, at Zach Bries on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Facebook too. So yeah, you can check me out, check out some new content. And yeah, this episode will definitely be on those platforms, as I mentioned.
Hell yeah, man. Well, dude, it was dope doing this with you. I know we talked on a lot of different, kind of different stuff, but I had a great time, man. And we should do it again, brother.
Absolutely, John. Yeah, thank you, man. It was awesome. I'm glad we got this. We had a chance to do this. It was really fun.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, guys, y'all take care, and
all right, see you guys later.
We'll see you next time. Peace.
Yep. Have a good weekend. See you later.
All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. Recording will be saved in Meeting Organizers Google Drive.